ダブルプルコギバーガーがいいかな。スペシャルタッカルビバーガーも捨てがたいよな。
I just want to make bulgogi burgers, but this song is so good. Now I'm going to be using King Arthur's burger bun recipe for this. Link is down below. You want to start off with 420 grams worth of bread flour, 50 grams worth of sugar, about 10 grams worth of instant yeast. We're also going to add in about 5.5 grams worth of salt with your questionable scale, and then you're going to need about 30 grams worth of butter. You want to make sure that this butter is unsalted, and just go ahead and cube it up or dice it up so it incorporates better later. Crack 1 whole egg right into your mix, and after that thing is a little bit of a room temperature with Chef Mike, add your butter back in. Now we're going to add in 220 grams worth of water. This water should be somewhat warm, no warmer than 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Go ahead and start spinning this until you start to see some of the, get flour everywhere again, until you start to see some of the dough come together. This is going to take about 4 or 5 minutes at a medium speed, and once it's come together, I hit it at a high speed for about 2 minutes to start developing some gluten. This needed a little bit more time, but it still felt really, really nice. After mixing for about 7 minutes or so, go ahead and remove this from your bowl and form it into a boule. This is going to help tighten everything up so that way it'll rest properly. Now in the same bowl with a little bit of oil at the bottom, place your little doughboy back in there, cover it with a towel and a lid if you have it, not really necessary. And we're gonna let that hang out for about an hour and a half or until doubled in size. Once you got this thick boy doubled in size, this is ready to go. Be gentle, it's so nice and plump. Now with a little bit of flour on your cutting surface, go ahead and remove your dough from the bowl and you just want to pat this down just a little bit, not too much, be gentle. We're gonna cut this into even sized buns. We're gonna go for 6 buns on this, and each bun is going to weigh about 120 grams. Feel free to make these a little bit bigger if you want, but you don't want them to be too big. The 120 grams works really nicely. Now, if you have a little chunker that's left over, go ahead and fold that underneath it and curl it into the ball before you make your boule so all of that dough gets incorporated. Now you're gonna have these really beautiful little doughboys. On a parchment lined sheet tray, go ahead and space these out as evenly as possible so that way they have a nice even cooking surface. Once you have all of your doughboys ready to go, this is when we're going to brush them with a little bit of melted unsalted butter. You can use egg wash for this as well, but I do like the butter on there. After doing that, go ahead and sprinkle it with a little bit of white sesame seed, and we're gonna let these rest until these double in size with this fantastic contraption that I had rigged up. After about 90 minutes or so, they should double in size, and look at how beautiful these doughboys look. Now these are gonna bake at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes until they're a little G-bad. Hi, Lucian. Little boop. Now, while still listening to contradiction, pull out those buns and look at how beautiful those look. Remember, you don't want to go too dark in the oven because they will continue to darken after they've been pulled out. Pull these off and place them onto a cooling rack so that way the bottoms don't get soggy. We can just let these hang out. Now to make our bulgogi marinade, we're gonna need quite a few things for this, but first we're gonna start off by adding in about 3 ounces worth of soy sauce right into your mixing bowl, followed by 2 tablespoons worth of sesame oil, and then about 1 tablespoon worth of brown sugar. We're also gonna hit this with about 1 tablespoon worth of sesame seeds, I mean just a little bit more, it's really good that way. And then we're gonna mince 4 cloves worth of garlic. You do wanna make sure this is nicely minced and you don't have too many big pieces, otherwise you're gonna start biting into those in the marinade. Go ahead and drop that straight in. Now we're gonna take about a 2-inch nub of ginger and slice this after peeling it, and make sure you mince this to about the same size of the garlic so that way that's a nice even consistency. I only used about half the ginger because I felt like it may be too much, but you know, you do you. We're also going to add in just a bit of scallion as well. We're adding in a total of about 1 cup worth of sliced scallions to this, but feel free to add more if you want. Now the last ingredient is going to be your Asian pear. This is really nice. It has the texture of a really crisp apple, but it's going to add a little bit of sweetness without being overly sweet like more sugar would do. Go ahead and grate this directly into your marinade and make sure you get all that good from out of the inside. Now once your bulgogi marinade's starting to come together, just give it a quick stir so all those ingredients start to play. Now take the rest of your Asian pear, season it with a little bit of salt, and that's your snack. That's the snack. Now the last thing we need to add is a little bit of gochujang. I believe that's how it's pronounced. This stuff is incredible and it has an amazing flavor, so feel free to add in more than the 3 to 4 ounces that I do. I would add more than that because it's that good. Get everything nice and whisked up and together so that way you have this really beautiful marinade. And just give it a taste and see this. Oh my god. Oh, it's so good. I couldn't stop eating the marinade just as it was. I literally would have just eaten it like that. Now remove the marinade from your mixing bowl, and we're gonna take that same bowl and plop in 1.5 pounds worth of ground beef. I started off with about 5 tablespoons worth of my marinade just to get it started, and you do want to make sure you incorporate this really well. The reason for that is because you don't want any pockets of marinade. I ended up adding in another 3 tablespoons worth of my marinade because what I'm looking for is a slight tint to the meat. You want it to have that little bit of tint that's coming from the marinade. Once everything is mixed, let this hang out for about half an hour. Now, judging by what I could see in the anime, we had some pretty basic toppings, so we're just gonna go with a little bit of iceberg lettuce and a few slices of tomatoes. The tomatoes I like to slice kind of thick for this just because they're nice and meaty, but you're also not gonna need too many of them. I'm only using about 2 slices of tomato per burger. Now we do have to make our own special sauce for this, so I'm gonna take a few tablespoons, we're doing about 4 tablespoons worth of our marinade into a pan, and we're gonna heat this up just to start cooking off some of those sugars. We're only gonna cook this off for about 5 or 6 minutes over a medium-high heat, and you'll see it start to sizzle and bubble and get really nice. And once it's thickened up just a little bit after those few minutes, let it cool down. Take that marinade and add it to an equal part of Kewpie mayo. Yes, we're gonna make our own fry sauce for this with that bulgogi marinade because that's the good stuff, that's what you want. This only made about 3 ounces worth of sauce and you're gonna want more, trust me. Now we're gonna measure out our burgers to about 4 ounces each. Now you don't wanna go too big on these because again, this is a double burger, so you're essentially gonna have a half-pound burger once everything is said and done. Now go ahead and grab your buns and slice these ahead of time so you're not really fighting it while you're trying to do everything else, and these came out really nice other than some of the seeds not really sticking. I'm using my flat cast iron griddle for this, but feel free to just use a saute pan if you need to. And go ahead and get these toasted up. I'm only using just a little bit of oil on the pan that's rubbed down with. You don't really need to go overboard on that. Now you can grease up your pan pretty nicely and go ahead and start dropping your burgers onto this. Now go ahead and give them just a little bit of a press right now, but we are going to need the help of a spatula to kind of get these all nice and smashed. We're doing the smash burger because these are so thick that what is happening on this cast iron right now, Paul? And remember, the marinade isn't going to be salty enough, so you do want to make sure you salt those burgers as well. I'm doing 4 because I'm making one for the waifu as well, but just make sure they're nice and pressed. After about 5 minutes on each side, you're going to get this really nice charring happening, and that has a lot to do with the sugars inside of that marinade. Top this off with a little bit of cheddar cheese, yes, the good stuff, and then we're going to start assembling our burger. I'm using quite a bit of that beautiful bulgogi marinade fry sauce, followed by the lettuce, and then the tomatoes. Now we're going to take one patty and place it on top of the tomatoes, followed by some onions that I had laying around, which are totally optional, and then another patty, and then a little bit of lettuce to protect our bun later, because we're adding more fry sauce to this bun because it's going to be amazing. Yes, we used almost all of this fry sauce. Now encapsulate your burger with the top bun, and there it is, our double bulgogi burger from God of High School. It's marvelous. There it is, guys, a double bulgogi burger from God of High School. I'm really sad that Jin didn't actually order this and that the other Galbi burger because we need to make that one too, but it's just, this is a big boy though. This is, here, we're gonna adjust. Yes, I did just cut my burger so you could see this. Woo! Oh, don't fall, no, don't fall apart. No. Crisis averted. Cutting it in half was a mistake, but we're just gonna go in. This is one of the best burgers I've ever eaten. All of that bulgogi flavor, the marinade comes through, you get the soy and the soy. Ugh, I can't even talk. It's that good. It's spicy, it's salty, it's slightly sweet. The beef is super tender. The bun, look at those layers. I'm so happy. I gotta admit, I mean, look at this guy. It's beautiful. This isn't super hard to make. If you don't wanna make your own buns, just buy some really nice buns and then make that meat mix with the marinade. That's where all the flavor's really coming through. I mean, the buns are a nice touch. Now I just really want Korean barbecue. My name is Chef PK. Get subscribed, and remember, keep playing with your food. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play. That sounds dirty. You know what? I'm just gonna go eat my burger. I'm out. Nope. Bye.